I woke up to the sound of birds singing and the soft rays of sunlight filtering through my window. It was an ordinary summer morning in Hiroshima. Little did I know that this day would forever be etched into the darkest corners of my memory. Hiroshima buzzed with an underlying tension, like a tightly wound spring ready to release. The war had brought its share of hardships and sacrifices to our city, yet we held on to hope and carried on with our daily lives. We went to work, attended school, and embraced the fleeting moments of normalcy. But the signs were there: whispers of impending attacks, discussions among neighbors about the growing military presence. The war was closing in on our doorstep, and we couldn't ignore the fear that settled deep within our hearts. As I made my way through the city streets, the atmosphere seemed heavier. Soldiers patrolled the sidewalks, their eyes darting with suspicion. Posters and propaganda adorned the walls, urging citizens to remain vigilant and patriotic in the face of the enemy. Every conversation carried an air of uncertainty, with words spoken in hushed tones as if we were sharing a dangerous secret. Rumors of a new weapon, one that could unleash unimaginable destruction, circulated among the populace. It was a whispered fear, a name rarely uttered but etched in our minds: atomic bomb. I couldn't shake the nagging dread that accompanied each passing day. Would Hiroshima be targeted? Could this weapon truly be as devastating as the rumors suggested? Questions swirled through my mind, unspoken fears taking root. Days turned into weeks, and the unease in Hiroshima grew. The rumors of the atomic bomb persisted, lingering like a shadow that refused to dissipate. I tried to push them aside, focusing on my work and the daily routines that brought a semblance of normalcy to my life. Yet, as I labored in the factory, my thoughts wandered. What would happen if the bomb were dropped on our city? Would anyone survive? Would our homes be reduced to ashes, our lives forever changed? The questions haunted me, overshadowing the camaraderie and solidarity that once permeated the workplace. There was a collective unease that reverberated through the factory floor, each worker burdened with their own thoughts and fears. We clung to the hope that our country's leaders would protect us, that they had measures in place to prevent such a catastrophic event. But deep down, doubts gnawed at the edges of our faith. The growing military presence and the urgency with which the war effort was pursued only fueled our apprehension. August 6th arrived, painting the city in hues of golden sunlight. It seemed like any other summer day, the world awakening to another chapter in the ever-unfolding story of our lives. The streets bustled with activity as people went about their daily routines, unaware of the impending catastrophe that loomed just hours away. I headed to the factory, joining the stream of workers weaving through the city's labyrinthine streets. The morning air held a crispness, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that whispered of change. But, like everyone else, I dismissed it as the byproduct of my own unease. At the factory, I donned my work apron and joined my fellow laborers on the assembly line. The machines hummed to life, their metallic symphony blending with the rhythmic sounds of work, the clanking of metal, the hiss of steam, the voices of camaraderie. Time passed in a blur as I lost myself in the repetitive motions of my tasks. Each movement, each piece fitted together, was a step towards victory, or so we believed. We carried on, oblivious to the world outside the factory walls. At precisely 8:15 a.m., the world shattered. A blinding flash of light engulfed everything, turning day into an unnatural brilliance. It was as if the sun had descended from the sky, transforming the city into a white-hot inferno. The brilliance seared my retinas, stealing away my vision and leaving me momentarily blind. Then came the deafening explosion, an earth-shattering roar that reverberated through every fiber of my being. The ground trembled beneath my feet, threatening to swallow me whole. I was thrown off balance, crashing to the factory floor amidst the chaos. In the seconds that followed, a profound stillness filled the air, like the pregnant pause before an impending storm. I lay on the floor, disoriented and stunned, trying to make sense of what had just transpired. A chill ran down my spine as the reality of the situation began to unfold. When my vision returned, the sight before me was a macabre dance of devastation. The once familiar surroundings of the factory had been transformed into a nightmarish tableau of destruction. Machines lay twisted and mangled, walls collapsed, and debris covered the floor like a jagged carpet. Fear gripped my heart as I stumbled through the wreckage. The air was thick with the acrid scent of smoke and burning debris. Fire raged in pockets, consuming everything in its path, while plumes of smoke billowed into the sky, staining it with a malevolent gray. Outside the factory, the cityscape had morphed into a landscape of horror. Buildings lay in ruins, reduced to skeletal structures that bore the scars of the explosion. Homes, shops, and schools that had once stood proudly were now reduced to heaps of debris and ash. People emerged from the rubble, dazed and disoriented, their faces etched with shock and disbelief. Cries for help echoed through the air, mingling with the moans of the injured and the anguished wails of those who had lost loved ones. The fabric of our city had been torn apart, revealing a raw and brutal reality we could hardly comprehend. Hiroshima, once a symbol of life and vitality, was now a graveyard of broken dreams and shattered lives. Driven by desperation and a primal instinct to survive, I joined the countless others who navigated the rubble-strewn streets. Every step was a test of endurance, as my feet sunk into the uneven ground and sharp debris threatened to pierce my shoes. With each passing moment, my heart raced, my breath came in ragged gasps. I called out for my family, my voice swallowed by the cacophony of destruction and despair. The sights around me were a tableau of suffering. Wounded bodies, charred and disfigured, littered the streets. In the midst of the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Volunteers, their faces smudged with dirt and tears, braved the dangers to assist those in need. They provided comfort to the injured, offering water and solace amidst the ruins. Their compassion became a beacon of light amidst the darkness. I pressed on, fueled by the indomitable spirit of survival and the need to find my loved ones. The city, once labyrinthine in its layout, had been reduced to a distorted maze, the landmarks of my memory swallowed by the devastation. And then, amidst the wreckage, I found them. Relief washed over me as I spotted my parents and younger sister, huddled together in a makeshift shelter. Emotions overflowed as we embraced, holding on to one another as if life depended on it. Tears mingled with the dirt on our faces, our cries of joy blending with the mournful symphony of grief that echoed through the city. Our reunion was a bittersweet respite from the horror that surrounded us. We were alive, together, but the wounds ran deep. We had lost our home, our possessions, our sense of security. The world as we knew it had crumbled, and the task of rebuilding seemed insurmountable. But for that fleeting moment, our love and our unity were our greatest strengths. Together, we would face whatever lay ahead, drawing strength from the bonds that held us together. In the days that followed, Hiroshima emerged from the smoldering ashes, revealing the full extent of the devastation. The once vibrant streets were now desolate, lined with remnants of what once was. A heavy silence hung in the air, broken only by the distant sound of rescue efforts and the mournful cries of survivors. With no time to dwell on our losses, we joined our fellow citizens in the arduous task of rebuilding our shattered lives. Slowly but surely, a semblance of order began to take shape amidst the chaos. Temporary shelters were erected, providing solace for those who had lost their homes. Volunteers from all walks of life poured into the city, offering their support and expertise. They provided medical aid to the injured, distributed food and supplies to the displaced, and worked tirelessly to clear the debris that littered the streets. The spirit of resilience and compassion became the driving force that carried us forward. In the face of such immense adversity, the people of Hiroshima found strength and unity. We stood side by side, shoulder to shoulder, sharing the burden of grief and the determination to rebuild. Bonds formed amidst the rubble, transcending the barriers of social status, age, and gender. We shared stories of survival and loss, finding solace in the knowledge that we were not alone in our suffering. Together, we mourned the lives cut short by the bomb's cruel embrace. Their memories fueled our determination to create a world where such horrors would never be repeated. Schools were established in makeshift shelters, offering a semblance of normalcy for the city's children. Teachers, with hearts heavy but spirits unwavering, imparted knowledge and hope to a generation scarred by the indelible mark of war. As Hiroshima began to rebuild its physical structures, the scars of that fateful day lingered deep within our collective consciousness. The survivors, the hibakusha, carried the weight of the bomb's impact not only on their bodies but also on their souls. Many suffered from physical ailments caused by the blast and the subsequent radiation exposure. Scars, both visible and invisible, became a permanent reminder of the horror they had endured. But it was the emotional scars that cut the deepest, the nightmares that haunted their sleep, the memories that invaded their waking hours. Support networks were established to provide care and comfort for the hibakusha. Medical facilities dedicated to treating radiation-related illnesses were established, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the lingering darkness. Counseling services helped survivors cope with the trauma, fostering a sense of healing and resilience. As the wounds slowly healed, the survivors of Hiroshima vowed to carry their stories forward, transforming their pain into a force for change. They became ambassadors of peace, tirelessly advocating for the elimination of nuclear weapons and promoting understanding among nations. Their voices resonated beyond the boundaries of Hiroshima, reaching people across the globe. They shared their experiences, spoke of the unimaginable devastation, and implored the world to choose a path of peace. Their efforts became a beacon of hope, a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience and compassion. Today, Hiroshima stands as a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit. The scars of the past are visible, etched into the city's landscape and the hearts of its people. Memorials and peace parks serve as poignant reminders of the lives lost and the urgent need for peace. But amidst the remnants of destruction, there are signs of renewal and hope. Hiroshima has emerged as a vibrant city, a testament to the indomitable will of its citizens. Its gardens bloom with life, its schools thrive with knowledge, and its streets resonate with the laughter of children. The people of Hiroshima continue to be custodians of peace, their voices resonating with the call for global unity and understanding. They have turned the darkness of their past into seeds of hope for a brighter future, where the horrors of nuclear weapons are relegated to the annals of history.